Welcome to 12 Minutes or Less with the Author. I'm your host, T.L. Brown, but you can call me Tracy. Let's get started. Hey there. Welcome to another episode of 12 Minutes or Less with the Author. I'm over the moon because today we have author Jessica Cantwell. Jessica lives with her family and cats in a charming seaside town on the eastern end of Long Island. When she's not writing, you can find Jessica reading, yard sale rummaging, drawing, painting, or refinishing furniture. Jessica has a passion for baking, eating everything she bakes, and travel. You may find her biting bitterballen in Amsterdam, popping pierogies in Krakow, or munching on meat pies in London. Multiple sclerosis may slow her down, but it will never stop her from living her best life. Jessica is the author of the young adult fantasy series, The Realm Saga, of which I am a huge fan. And she just released her latest book, Rebuilding Jennifer, a contemporary fiction novel which is the first installment of the Mind, Heart, and Soul series. You can learn more about Jessica at jessicacantwellbooks.com, and that link can be found in the podcast description along with her socials. Jessica, it is so nice to meet you after all this time of knowing you on Instagram. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It is a pleasure.
Wonderful. Let's get right to the meat of it, because your latest book, Rebuilding Jennifer, just came out, and I am so thrilled that you were able to come on the show today. So tell us about this new novel and what it's about and what the readers can expect.
Okay. Well, Rebuilding Jennifer is a women's literary fiction novel, and it follows the main character, who is Jennifer Lee Black, over the span of a decade from age 7 to 17. And it documents her tumultuous childhood and how she copes with living in a dysfunctional household. Readers can expect an in-depth look into what abuse behind closed doors looks like and what it takes to survive that torment. Rebuilding Jennifer, it's definitely recommended for mature audiences. It does contain themes and language and scenes that can be trigger warnings for some. On the other hand, it travels through time between 1984 through 1995, and readers get a positive look of what it's like to grow up during that era.
It sounds fantastic. I know it's a departure from your first series, which was fantasy-based, but I'm very excited about this different side of your writing style as an author. Can you tell us why you wrote this book?
Yes, so it is the polar opposite. So fans of the Realm Saga, it's definitely not in that wheelhouse. It's completely different. It is based on the true story of my life. So this is like 28 years in the making. It includes the abuse I suffered in my adolescence and being a victim of gun violence when I was 17 years old. I began writing the story right after that traumatic event. And I had to walk away from it time and time and time again because it was just too difficult to write. And I think the problem was I was trying to write an autobiography, and that is just something that I didn't want to do. And it's because I didn't really want to call out my abusers. They know what they did, they know who they are. And I think that they should be able to come to terms with that in private. And then last year, I finally decided to take me and the actual characters from my life out of the situation completely and write it as as fiction. So although it's based on a true story, I think it's important to say that it is not. Some of the storylines have been enhanced or made up to suit the convenience of the book. Obviously, all names, characters, places, and incidents are fictitious, except for the towns on the eastern end of Long Island. Those are real towns. They're just used fictitiously in the story. And I have, added my stories that I remember to the best of my memory. And by doing that and creating that fictional element, I was able to actually get it down on paper and turn my ugly past into something beautiful. So,
I mean, that's incredible. And so much I didn't know about you. And I'm not talking about the book, but what you've shared personally about your life since I first met you on Instagram and met your series. And I can see how your experiences, I mean, as authors, our experiences do inform what we write. Doesn't mean everything that we write happened or vice versa. But I can see where this would be cathartic for you as well.
very cathartic. And the reason why I think you have to enhance some situations is because there's not always an explanation in real life. Things don't always make sense. So you have to fill in those gaps.
Absolutely. And I like that. Things don't always make sense and things aren't always cut and dry. I do want to ask you about, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, at first this was going to be a standalone book, but then as you wrote it, you decided that you were going to make it a series, which is the Mind, Heart, and Soul series. So obviously we've got a future writing projects coming down the road because it's a series, but can you tell us anything about that? Give us a
Yes.
hint.
So I did. I wanted to do a one and done, and it didn't turn out that way. I actually posted on Instagram the story of how I met my husband, which is also pretty funny. It is hysterical. And everybody kept saying, like, you need to write that as a book. Like that would make a book. And because Rebuilding Jennifer ends at a very pivotal moment in her life, her story can continue. So I thought, you know what? Like, why not? If I'm writing Rebuilding Jennifer based on elements of my life, why not continue and include that story? And so, yeah, I'm going to have book two. But then I created this one character that I absolutely fell in love with in book one, who I hope readers will fall in love with also. And it's going to continue in book three. And then that character is going to get a spinoff. So now one book has turned into four.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have a lot of work ahead of me.
I mean, that's yay for all of us. I know it's a lot of work for you, but yay for us. And I have no doubt that people will fall in love with your characters for sure. I know in the first three books of the three books of the Realm series, whose team I'm on.
Oh, yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah, I for those who haven't made the great decision yet to read Jennifer's first series, the Realm Saga, there's a character and his name is Tracy. That's not why I fell in love with him. But man, I was like, oh, I love this guy. I loved all the characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
You make them very rich. There is so much that you can just pull away the layers. So I have no
Yeah.
doubt.
Thank you. Tracy is actually inspired by my husband. That is his personality. And when he read the book, he's like, well, I know who I am.
I love it. I love it. Well, like I said, I have no doubt with Rebuilding Jennifer and your series that's coming and then the spinoff. Very exciting. I love it. I know what that's like. I'm sure we're all in for a real treat.
I hope so.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the 12 Minutes or Less with the Author today. I am so excited to tell the world about your latest book. And that book right here is Rebuilding Jennifer. And thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This has been great. We need to chat off screen.
I think we do. I think we do. Let me give some important information to our listeners and watchers. You can find all of Jessica's books on Amazon and other outlets. Down below, you're going to find some links to her website, to Amazon. You're also going to find links to all of her socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Goodreads. You got to follow her. She is just the nicest person, and one of the first people who made me feel comfortable and welcome in the writing community on Instagram. And I think you know, Jessica, that we all think the world of you.
Oh, thank you. I think the world of you too.
All right. Well, that's it for today, listeners. We'll catch you again the next time. For now, this is Tracy signing off. Have a great day. Bye-bye. This has been 12 Minutes or Less with the Author. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Hope you can join me for the next one. Until then, this is Tracy, aka Author T.L. Brown, signing off.